today's Love Chat with the Love Twins. I'm Gladys Diaz, and I'm so excited to be here with you today. It's been a couple of weeks because we had a masterclass last week, and if you were at that masterclass and it was the Extraordinary Love Now masterclass and you found it helpful, we've gotten text messages and emails and Facebook messages about how powerful, how not just informative. That wasn't what ladies were saying. Is like, I saw something that I hadn't seen before. I had a breakthrough. They were able to take some of the steps that we taught in the masterclass, and they were able to create a breakthrough. A breakthrough is when you come up to something that's normally stopped you, whether that something is a fear, a limiting belief, a context that you've had, a pattern that you've kind of been on automatic pilot, and you're able to get to it and not just go against it just for the sake of going against it, but actually getting to the other side of that fear, the other side of that limiting belief. So if you were there last week, just want you to know that we're so grateful that you were there, and we really had a great time. I mean, I just had a blast delivering that content, because I love anything that makes a difference for you in your perception of yourself, dating, love, relationships. And that brings us to today's topic, because today we're talking about ditching the type. So there's a type, and I'm sure you've heard this: he's not my type, that person's not my type, he's more my type, she's less my type, right? People walk around with these types in their heads. And today we're going to be breaking down some of the reasons why going by a type could possibly be sabotaging you and your love life, and also some other myths that are out there, particularly about women who are strong, powerful women who are, successful in their own right, and some of the challenges, the real challenges that successful women face. So it's a combination, but the first thing we're going to do is we're going to talk about why you want to ditch your type. And the whole topic today is rewiring attraction to finally magnetize healthy love. Why are we using the word rewiring, and why are we using finally and magnetize? Well, the thing is that when you have a specific type in mind, now I'm not saying that the secret to having love forever is that you start dating somebody that you are absolutely not attracted to in the least, that you find very unattractive, that you don't have anything in common. You don't just want to go for the opposite. The opposite, and we talk about this all the time with ladies when we're teaching them how to date successfully in the Ready to Love Again program, or even how to keep their relationship getting stronger and more deeply in love in the Keeping the Love Alive program, is that your brain will tell you, well, if I've been doing this and I haven't gotten the results that I want, I should do the complete opposite, and then I'll get the results that I want. And the truth is that is not the case. Doing the exact opposite of something isn't necessarily the most effective, successful, workable way to go about things. So when you have a specific type in mind, usually what that means, when there's a type that you have, we talk about the checklist. We'll probably talk about it again today, because I always say your checklist of what he must be is your checklist of fears. And a lot of women are like, they don't really like that. But really, the checklist that you have about what somebody else must be, must have, must do in order to be right for you is everything that you are afraid will happen if they don't have it, and everything you think will happen if they do have it. And so it's a list of fears. So you don't want to be walking around with a list of fears, because what we teach in our programs is when you haven't been attracting the love that you want, you're not attracting your desires, you're attracting your fears. So if your fears are stronger than your beliefs about what's possible for you, you will keep attracting examples of your fears. So think about the last 3 guys that weren't it. Which of your fears did each of them represent? Right? Liar, cheater, scammer. I love them, they don't love me back. Even when I have love, it goes away. Like, which of your fears showed up with the last 3 guys that you were either in a relationship with, married to, or even that you were dating? So a type, having a specific type, puts men in a box, or they have that list of criteria, and then anything that doesn't meet that, you're automatically, well, it's not the right person. Well, here's what happens when you have, a type, and you're going after the same kind of person, or even if it's just similar looks, usually it's because that person reminds you of someone that you were previously attracted to, engaged in a relationship with, or you had there was something that binds that person to you, either emotionally, psychologically, or in your body, if there was any physical intimacy. I can't say the word because then Facebook will take the video down. But especially if there was physical interactions between you and the person of the romantic sort, then your body has cellular memory. So it recognizes the things about that person that attracted you to the other person that wasn't the right person. And now this is why you feel like you're like in this what was that we said in the email? It's the same old drama with a different cast, right? The same old soap opera with a different, leading man. And unfortunately, what happens is then you have the same old heartbreak at the end. So it's not that there aren't preferences, right? That preferences are right or wrong. It's just when you start to make it a must, that somebody else, a requirement that somebody else must meet, there's usually a fear attached to it. And it's more than likely because there's someone from your past. And if they're in your past, that means they're not in your present, which means they're probably not right for you. There's something in your mind, your emotions, and or your body, usually all three, that is attaching you to that person, attracting you to that person, and then attaching you to that person. So that's why having that type, that very restrictive list of qualities or characteristics is not working for you. If it was working for you, you would still be with the person who you based the checklist off of, right? So that's the first thing. The second thing is, if you find yourself being unconsciously gravitating towards this same type of, either the same type of look or the same type of character, personality as somebody, and think about this, if you've been in multiple unhappy relationships, which I'm sorry, right? If that's the case, I hate that that's happened, especially if there's been abuse of some sort, or, infidelity or something like that, because if you've had that happen to you more than one time, that one time is more than enough. But to have that repeating itself in your life, or people who say they're one person and then they turn out to be another, right? Somebody who promised you that they wanted to be in a relationship and then it turned out that they didn't. Somebody who promised they were single and they were still married or getting separated or divorced. Whatever the pattern that you're finding in your life is, if it is attached, you want to look to see what are the things that these men had in common. Now, I'm going to say something that your mind, your body, your subconscious may not like hearing, but it is not the man's fault. By the way, it's not your fault either. But the person who's choosing or is being attracted to them and them attracted to you is you. So you can't control the other person. You can't control and make them honest. You can't control and make them want to be committed. You can't control and force them to want to be in a relationship if they don't want to. But you have 100% control over you, over the choices that you're making, over the beliefs that you're believing that are leading to the choices that you're making, that are giving you the results that you're getting. So my invitation is that you don't relate to this as a disempowering conversation at all, because you should be getting excited about the fact, well, if I've been the one choosing consciously or subconsciously, then I get to make better choices. Remember, not the opposite, better choices that are going to lead me in the direction of the kind of relationship that I truly want, not the kind that I've been creating or attracting. Okay, so don't relate to this as a disempowering conversation at all, because you have so much more power than you give yourself credit for. Michelle and I were having a meeting with somebody that we're really excited for our clients, because we're going to be making some announcements about some things that we're bringing into the Ready to Love Again program and the Keeping the Love Alive program and our graduate program and Extraordinary Love Mastery. And we're having this conversation with this woman who we admire, we've been working with for a little while. And I was telling her, we were just having a conversation. I said, probably the most heartbreaking thing for me is how little power women believe that they have when it comes to love and relationships. It's heartbreaking to me because I know that you haven't had the results that you want, but it's possible to change that. It's possible to change it, and it doesn't have to take years and years and years either. So let's turn that. Let's turn that around today. Today could be day one of the rest of your life where you're no longer being led by this list of things, criteria, characteristics, personality types, things that you've noticed have repeated. If you can think of 3 or 4 men in your history that are either a certain type, whether that's physical type or personality type, character type, or the relationship, even if there were different, very specific details, but it ended pretty much the same, then use this knowledge as your power to see what it is that gets to be transformed. Like, really, I don't know if you're getting excited. I'm getting excited. And I love, hello, everybody who's here. Everybody who's here, hello, say hi. Oh, thank you, Helene. I appreciate that compliment. I will absolutely take it. So let me take a look over here at the chat because what you say matters. So I say, I was told over the years to date people compatible to me sign-wise. I'm a Cancer. The ones, hold on. I'm trying to read fast. Cancer, Scorpio, I'm a Scorpio. So I'm not the expert on zodiac signs. I really believe that everything is fluid and flexible. Like when people go to like somebody, a tarot reader or a fortune teller, that future is flexible. You have the opportunity to change the future. And the same thing with, yes, maybe there's people from a certain zodiac sign that are attracted to you and you're attracted to them. But I'll tell you right now, like I've been happily married twice. Those of you who are new to the community, by the way, welcome. And I've been happily married twice. I was widowed at a young age, and I've now been with my husband, Rick, for, it's going to be 25 years. Well, married 25 years, 26 years together, 25 years married. And they were different zodiac signs. And I can't remember which one of them is not a match for me. I know one or both of them. I think it doesn't match with me. But so here's what I want to say, Susan. You get to look to see character-wise. Not if everybody from the same zodiac sign was thinking and acting and speaking the certain way, wouldn't that be a nice, predictable thing to have in your back pocket? But the truth is that you can have 3 Scorpios or 3 Geminis or 3 Libras, and those 3 people may have some things in common, but they are not the same person, right? So character is what matters. The character of the person needs to match, not a list of criteria, but the things that you value the most. That's what's going to attract that person to you. Okay? So, no, there's lots of people here, Aline. You may not see them, but they are here. All right. So let me get a little bit into the next thing that I want to talk about. So the first thing is, what are you paying attention to? What have you been attracting? Just look at it. Look to see 3 or 4 people. If I can think of 3 or 4 people and I can look to see what was the common denominator obviously is that they're in a relationship with you. But what were the commonalities that I was attracted to physically, emotionally, personality-wise? It is important for you to be aware of those things because we can only break through once we see, oh, this is the pattern, or this was the belief that was driving me, or this is the concern or the fear that was in the background, okay? So those subconscious patterns, those subconscious choosing patterns, we talked to a lot of women. We even used the term, I think, in this, we did in the email about the picker. Your picker is not broken. Your picker is being driven by you. So again, power, right? Power to choose, power to discern, power to notice what is my thinking, the thinking behind my choosing. What is the thinking behind my choosing telling me? That's what's important. Okay. Your subconscious, there are thoughts. We've been talking about this for years and years. 95%, it's really 95 to 98%, but let's just say 90 to 95% average of everything that you are doing is being driven by your subconscious mind. So if that's the truth, right? If that is the truth, and that is what's the all the neuroscientists have been saying, it's the subconscious that's driving your decisions, then it is important that you're paying attention to what the results are. You may not know what's in your blind spot because it's in your subconscious, but when you look at your results are giving you information. Okay? So what can I do if I've looked at the last 3 or 4 people that I've either been in a relationship with, dated, had some sort of romantic interactions with, and now I'm starting to see that there is like a pattern, a criteria, a theme, so to speak. Now, what do I do? Well, the first thing is, and Michelle and I speak into this a lot. A lot of women say, well, shouldn't, I created this list of my perfect partner, my ideal man, and that's what I want. And if I don't get that, then I feel like I'm settling. Like I said, let's look at the character. See, character, looks are going to fade with time, right? um Preferences, think about the things that was your favorite. Like, I have foods that were like my favorite foods that I don't even think about eating anymore, right? There was a time in my life when it was my favorite food. There was a time in my life where I hated sushi. I could not understand the concept of people eating something that had not been cooked. And now it's one of my favorite foods, right? So even your preferences change over time. The one thing that stays true are your values. And so a person's character is driven by their values. So start noticing the character of the people. And of course, we're dating and relationship coaches, so we're going to tell you, to look at it, at the character of the men. But also, if you're having challenges with friends, if you're having challenges with coworkers, if you're having great relationships with friends and great relationships with coworkers, what is the character? Same thing as that I'm telling you to do with 3 to 4 men that you've dated or been in romantically involved with. Think of the relationships in your life that are working. What is the character of the people that you are having great relationships with? And how does that reflect your character and your values? I promise you, if you're having great relationships with people, co-workers, friends, family members, there is a values match. There's a character match. So pay attention to that. Again, because I know how the little voices in your heads go, when we talk about this. We're not saying to date the person. Michelle used to say, I'm not telling you to date Quasimodo, right? We're not telling you to date somebody who there's just like, no, like you just can't even tolerate to be in the presence of that person. That's not what we're saying. What we're saying is that look for the things that matter, and the things that matter will find you. Look for the things that are important to you, and those things will be attracted to you. Really be the woman who's a reflection of your values, and notice how your values, people, situations, opportunities start chasing you. Instead of you having to chase anybody, they start chasing you down because you're being so strongly magnetic, being the woman that you imagine yourself being in the relationship of your dreams, loving, accepting, patient, forgiving, understanding, adventurous, exciting, spontaneous. You're being that already before you're ever in a relationship, or if you're already married and in a relationship, you're being those things again if they've kind of, the spark has gone out. And now all of a sudden, more of that starts to come to you. I know that some people think it's woo woo, wishy washy. I'm telling you, it's 100% true. The energy around you is responding to your energy. The people around you are responding to your energy. And so be a match for what you most want. And I promise you, that's going to come. It's just going to come searching for you. Like, it cannot help it. That's what we're talking about when we're talking about magnetism. Okay. And so when you're focusing, right, on that, on the character, the values, and what you really, and your values and what you value, right? Your values are a reflection of what you value. So I value honesty, respect, love, generosity, understanding, compassion. Those are the things, I'm just saying some of my top core values. Then those are the things that I am being, who I'm being, and what I'm looking for. I'm looking for that in other people. I want to work with clients who have those values. I want to have obviously a husband that shares those values. Are we carbon copies of each other? No, we're actually total opposites on a lot of things, and yet we're compatible. Why are we compatible? Number one, because I chose him, because I fell in love with who he is as a man, even though we don't agree on every single important topic. We don't. We just don't. And I'm not going to get into this study. Maybe we'll do this on another love chat. But there is research, scientific research, that shows that upwards of 73%, I think it is, of the issues in relationships, like the differences, are unsolvable. And that could scare some people, like, oh my God, that means we're going to be fighting all the time. No, no, no. Fighting is a choice. Making the other person wrong is a choice. Trying to convince them to agree with me, that's a choice. Accepting, understanding, and accepting differences as differences, that's another choice. For the relationships where the people work, that's a very powerful choice, and it's not settling. It's, if I want unconditional love, then I choose to love you unconditionally, even if we don't see eye to eye on the same thing. I'm not going to make you wrong, because so that I can make myself right. Right? The moment somebody's right, the other person has to be wrong. So now this is the empowerment that I was talking about before, where you are making choices from the things that matter to you, the things that you absolutely value the most, right? Your values are based on what you value, and then your choices are guided by those values. Guess what you're doing? You're making choices that make you feel good. You're making choices that make you feel like it's all aligned. You're making choices where it doesn't feel like there's a mismatch between you and the other person, because you're valuing what you most value, right? Your values, your character, the things that are important to you. So when you do that, you are going to find that the men who also value what you value, who are a match for that, now you're attracting a completely different caliber of man. But it's not magic. Well, I guess it's magical. Those of you who are in our community know what magical stands for. It's absolutely magical, because you're being in alignment with what you value. So you don't have to be pretending or worrying that you're not going to get the love that you want. That's what has you settle. When you settle, it's because you think that you cannot have the kind of relationship that you want. So you start cutting corners. You start moving your boundaries. You stop being authentically you, because you think that you're too much or too little of something, too much of something or not enough of something else. And then you start morphing, and you're not even who you are anymore. So if you really want to attract someone who is a match, ditch the type, ditch the checklist, and start looking for the things that most matter to you. What in a relationship, women will say that what most matters is that you feel loved. Well, what does that mean? Underneath love, probably respected, heard, seen, understood, supported, accepted, right? Those are the things that make us feel loved as women. Men want to feel loved by also feeling respected, appreciated, admired. It's really important to them, not because their ego is, what is it that people say? They're needy, or they've got a whatever, that they're just needy and they're not strong. No, no, no. A man who is admired, respected, and appreciated keeps growing as a man, because that's where he feels his power and his purpose. So if you've been guiding yourself by a list, I want you to first, please do the exercise. If you've joined us later, there's an exercise at the beginning of this love chat where I said, think about the last 3 or 4 men that you've either dated, been in a relationship with, married to, some sort of romantic interaction, and look to see among those 3 or 4 men, what were the things that they had in common physically? What were the things they had in common emotionally? What were the things they had in common in their character? And why did that not work out? Why did this, and this relationship not work out? Start with that exercise. And then when you identify the things that didn't work out, right? The other thing that you could do is, when you look at their characteristics, whether the physical, the emotional, and the character, right? Their character. When you look at the things that they have in common, look to see the first exercise that it gave us. What which fears are being proven right in those things that they have in common. So the first thing is to look for the fears, and then if it didn't work out, it probably didn't, because if you're still not with that person, then you want to look at, okay, what were the things that subconsciously I was choosing, I was attracted to, because it probably reminded me of the very first person. Sometimes that's our father, or one of our parents, or a caregiver, somebody who was really important to us. There was something that that person is reminding us of, usually something that we weren't able to fix or make right. There's an emotional wound attached to the person, and now you keep attracting a different iteration, right? Like we said, a different cast member with the same characteristics or similar characteristics, whether they're physical, emotional, or character-wise, personality-wise. When you start to see that, it's going to give you information that then, of course, we want you to let us know what it is, because where our superpower lies is in helping you to break through any patterns, especially, any subconscious thoughts, beliefs, and patterns that have been sabotaging you. When you learn how to break through those things, never again will a fear be choosing a man for you, or saying yes or no to a date, or swiping left or right, or saying yes or no to an engagement proposal. You will be choosing, because it will be coming from your values. All right. So we love to help women break through whatever's been standing in their way. And that is why we are so excited about our upcoming, excuse me, our next upcoming event. Sorry, I have the pollen in Florida is at levels I've never seen before. So we are having our next event. Now, when I say that we're having an event, if you're new to Heart's Desire, you have no idea what that means. If you're not new to Heart's Desire, you know that it's never just an event, right? It's an entire package that really gives you support before, during, and after the event. But we are having an event coming up called the Extraordinary Love Intensive. And if you go to attractyourlovenow.com, we're going to go ahead and drop the link there. When you go to attractyourlovenow.com, what you're going to see is everything that comes in this amazing bundle. So the first thing and the most important thing to put on your calendar right now, after you go to attractyourlovenow.com, I'm saying right now, attractyourlovenow.com. Go there, click on the link that's in the chat, or go to attractyourlovenow.com, and go ahead and scroll to the button that says, yes, I want real love now, because right now everything that I'm about to tell you is only $57, and our prices tend to go up. Sometimes we change them, sometimes we add bonuses. When you've already gotten a ticket, you don't have to worry, because you already got not a ticket. When you get the bundle, you already got everything that's on this page. So what are you getting? Go to your calendar after you grab your bundle, and October 25th, 26th, and 27th, put it there, separate those days, and make it a priority to be there, because this is where we're going to do the work that I've been talking to you about. Once you see what's in the subconscious, breaking through it, we're going to do that work to break through whatever has been standing in your way and has been blocking you from creating the kind of loving, passionate relationship, a real partnership where you are loved and the other person is also feeling loved. That's what the Extraordinary Love Intensive is. That's why we called it the Extraordinary Love Intensive. So we're going to break through everything that's been standing in the way, and then we're going to teach you. If you're single, you're going to get the skills for dating successfully. Successfully meaning, like I said before, not the opposite of what you've been doing. What actually works to attract, create, and keep the kind of relationship that you want. If you're in a relationship, we have breakout sessions for you as well, so that you can learn how to communicate, how to create more connection and partnership with your spouse, with your boyfriend. How do you have that romance grow decades, quarter of a century, right? And keep getting stronger and more connected. It does not, the honeymoon does not have to end. I can't stand when people say that. You get to create your honeymoon now and now and now, today and today and today, right? And so that's what this event is. And you get to learn how to attract the kind of man who's a match for you, a match for your values, where you're not wasting time with people who just do not know what they want, men who aren't ready. I mean, they'll get ready one day. That's not your role. You're ready now, right? So go to Attract Your Love now, grab that ticket, and then you're also going to get a Prep for Love call. So that's an additional event that you're going to get 3 days before the Extraordinary Love Intensive, where we're going to be doing some intentional work. We're going to actually be doing some pre-work so that by the time you come to the event on Friday, you've already started to have breakthroughs and you're amplifying, maximizing, multiplying the results that you get to create during the 3 days. That event, the reason that we have it, to be honest, I don't know how many events you've gone to, but not everybody has a pre-event. The reason we do that is because we're always looking to see, how do we get you a little bit further? How do we give you that leg up, a head start towards being in the relationship of your dreams? Because you've waited long enough. Why would you wait any longer? Right? So you get to come to the Extraordinary Love Prep for Love call, where we're going to be doing some pre-work together. And then in addition to that, with this bundle, you get the workbook that you can only get when you are at the event. So you're going to get that event. It's got exercises that we're going to do together, our heart work process that we teach, plus some additional prompts to have you create those breakthroughs. And we're going to be walking you through the breakthroughs every step of the way. And then in addition to that, you're going to get a ticket to another 3-day event that we're having later on in the year called the Irresistible Woman Live, because we don't want you to be like a one and done with us. We want to be your coaches as you are on this love journey. And then you also get to attend all the hot seat sessions that come included with both of the events. Okay, so you get hot seat sessions in both of these events. All of that for $57 plus, because it matters that you remember when I said, think about the friendships that are really working, the family relationships that are really working, the co-worker relationships that are really working. Think of one woman who she's your ride or die, or she's the one that you're like, if I'm going to go through 3 days and an evening about love and relationships, she's the one I want to do it with. I want her with me so that we're learning the same things. We're practicing after the event. We're supporting each other during the event. We're at the Prep for Love call because she gets to come with you to the Prep for Love call and the 3-day event. Think about that friendship that really works. That's the woman that you want to bring with you to these 2 events, the Prep for Love call and the 3-day event. So you get all of that for $57. When you add everything together, we're talking about upwards of $3,000. The reason Michelle and I do this is so that you don't have any excuses. You don't have any excuses to stay stuck. You don't have any excuses to stay confused. You certainly don't have any excuses to keep repeating those patterns and the results that keep breaking your heart. We want to break that cycle with you. So go ahead and go to attractyourlovenow.com. Grab everything that's there. You can see testimonials and everything. Just grab it, and grab it before, like I said, sometimes you come back to the page, the price is different, the bonuses are different, and you just want to grab it. Right now, it's the best it's going to get. So you want to go ahead and grab that now. And then in addition to that, do the exercises that I gave you during this love chat so that you can start to bring from that subconscious to the forefront. What are the patterns why is it that this pattern keeps showing up in my life? Why is it that either this type of man, I keep attracting him and he keeps being attracted to me and my heart keeps getting broken, or this relational pattern keeps showing up? Because when you bring that to the event, and some of you will actually get a pre-event call. So that's another reason why you want to grab your bundle right now, because you get to have a pre-event intention setting call with one of our love breakthrough coaches. So we're prepping before the 3 days, right? We just want you to feel super empowered, equipped, enabled, and ready to break through whatever has been blocking you up until now. And so if it's been a type, if it's been a checklist, if it's been a series of decisions and choices that you want to break that pattern, and instead of going to the opposite, or maybe you don't even know what the opposite would be, you want to go to what's effective. All right. That is the theme of today. When you've got this knowledge, then you can make a new and empowered choice. And a new and empowered choice creates new empowering results. And that's how you end up in a relationship that's going to blow your mind. It's going to be bigger than any dream that you could possibly dream right now, because right now those fears and limiting beliefs are in the space. But when you get those out of the way, you get to experience love like never before. Okay? So make sure make sure that you do the exercises that I gave you, right? And that you know, let us know in the chat when you've done that. Oh my gosh, I noticed that. We come back. So we come back to the thread. You want to do it soon because now Facebook takes these videos down after 30 days. We do have them available on our YouTube channel. So you definitely want to make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel because that's where they'll live way past the 30 days that Facebook is giving you. But come back in here and say, I did that exercise where I looked at the last 3 or 4 people, and here's what I uncovered. Here's the type that I've been attracting physically, emotionally, and also characterized personality wise. And that way we can jump in and we can have a conversation with you. We can support you in how you can break through that super quickly. All right. So make sure you go to attractyourlovenow.com, grab that bundle, put the dates April 25th through the 27th in your calendar. And until our hearts meet again, always remember that you are loved. Bye for now.